And hello from Chrysler Center. My name is Jared Greenspan. I am here with my good friend Jack Molino for some women's basketball today on the Wednesday afternoon matinee between your 19th ranked Michigan Wolverines and the visiting Butler Bulldogs. It is the first time that Michigan is ranked in the top 20 since January of 2018. And Jack, this is a team that is really riding high.
They're 4-0, a nice win against Wright State on Sunday, but it's the Butler Bulldogs today as Dilk gets the tip.
So Michigan wins the tip via Nas Hillman. Dilk controls at the top of the key for the Wolverines. Michigan with their normal starters. It's Dilk who flips it right side for Johnson. Arcs underneath for Hillman, got free down low and gets the friendly bounce on the lay-in to put Michigan up 2-0 early.
Hillman, one of the best players in the nation so far. Easy start there down low.
Otusu carries right to left for Butler. She's playing point. The Bulldogs control on the perimeter. That's Dew out there, guarded by Hillman. Give right side for Otusu. Along the wing for Dumont. Guarded by Leah Brown, the Nebraska transfer. Gets a screen, curls to her left, bumped by Brown. Brown falls down. Skip pass in the near side corner. It goes to Adika. She drives inside. Wild layup won't go. Fights for her own miss. And the battle for the boards is won in the far side corner by Kenray Johnson, who is then fouled.
Yeah, that's something Kim Barnes-Rico, the head coach for women's basketball, is really preaching this year is their defense, and that's a really good way to start the game. Kind of out of control shot there, and Michigan takes over.
Dilk into the forecourt for Michigan, handling up top. Guarded by Otusu for Butler. Flips right side for Kenray Johnson. Skip pass cross court for Dilk. Catches on the left wing. Gets a Brown screen, hides behind it. Draws a switch, takes the baseline, gets inside. Scoop layup won't go. Hillman with the rebound. The putback is short. Leah Brown comes in to snatch it, and she finishes.
Yeah, Nas got the initial rebound there for the Wolverines, and Leah Brown to clean it up there. All started with the penetration from Dilk on the baseline.
Third time's the charm there for Michigan. It's Alexander. Has it on the perimeter for Butler. Crosses up Brown. Step back jumper from the left side. 18-footer rolls off. Rebound on the right side of the paint for Nas Hillman. Flips to Dilk. Takes it left to right in the forecourt down the middle. Pass along the left side to Kenray Johnson. Left all alone and buries a three.
The fifth-year senior who got the medical red shirt after her season-ending injury her freshman year nails the three. She's got a sweet shot from the outside.
And Michigan has come out of the gates blitzing Butler. The Bulldogs, who entered the contest at 0-2, they lost by 47 points in their last game, have shown no signs of righting the ship so far today. On the left wing, it's Adika, slips a screen, has Dilk at her hip, pass out in the near side corner, launching a three, and it's no good, is Alexander. Weak side board taken by Hillman. It's Johnson on the outlet, lobbing underneath for Brown, comes down with it, kicks it back out. Dilk extra feet in the corner, Brown sets for three, it's an air ball, too strong. Alexander tiptoeing the baseline, gets the rebound and breaks away from the pack into the forecourt down the right side. Has Dilk backpedaling, weaves her way inside with a sidestep, and then barrels into... Who was it taking the charge? That was a Kenray Johnson.
There's a senior leadership there, back and forth game, a lot of transition, and Kenray Johnson sacrificing her body there. And that's the second turnover there for the Butler Bulldogs.
Second foul as well on Butler. Bulldogs still scoreless. 2.5 minutes into this one. And a travel's going to be whistled at the top of the key from Haley Brown. Dragged her pivot foot, looking for Amy Dilk on the right side.
Butler Bulldogs come into this 0-2, and I think they have a 3-game stretch where they play 3 ranked opponents in a row. Not off to a good start in this one.
Alexander flips it right side for Adika. Guarded by Dilk. Back on the left wing for Dumont. Underneath, Dew takes it back out to the wing. Brown hounding her. Up top Dumont. She'll pull trigger on a three. Way off. Nothing but backboard, and Dilk snags the rebound off the hardwood. Lobs underneath for Brown. Running the floor. Leah Brown lays it up and in, pushing Michigan's lead to 9-0.
Surprised Butler has not called a timeout here. They have 3 subs at the substitution table. They need to stop the bleeding at some point here.
Alexander flips right side. Adika, guarded by Dilk. Left side feed goes to Dew. Further along the wing for Dumont. Whips it back up top, Dew. She's guarded by Hillman. Looking for a guard along the right wing for Adika. Step back three over the top of Johnson, rolls off. Rebound falls on a hop to Haley Brown. Into the hands of Amy Dilk. Controls left to right. Pulls back, giving the corner for Leah Brown. Arcs underneath Hillman. And she gets fouled underneath. Coming over on the help was Otusu. Hillman's layup won't go, but she'll head to the free throw line for 2 attempts at the charity stripe.
Hillman averaging 24.8 on the season. She has 3 double-doubles. She's been a monster down low, and that really seems to be the first look of almost every single set that Michigan runs, is to look for Hillman down low. And if she's not there, she always seems to be active later in possession with either an offensive rebound or just kind of making noise down low.
Wholesale substitutions for Butler. Ellen Ross checks in, as does Tenley Dowell. Sexton into the game as well, as Hillman rims out on the first free throw. Shooting 85% from the line so far this year. That's one of her strengths. Many strengths that Naz Hillman has. Placed on a whopping 187 preseason watch lists, headlined by the Naismith Trophy, which at the end of the year will be given to the top player in the nation. She hits the second, pushing Michigan's lead to 10-0. 3:40 gone by here in the first. Adika walled off at the elbow, given the far side corner for Ross. Spins, kick back up top. Terry launches a three. That's no good. Johnson rips down the rebound.
Butler struggling from the outside. Still have not scored in this game.
Johnson pushing, gives it off to Leah Brown. Back to Haley Brown. She'll line up a three from the left wing. That rims off. And it's Leah Brown who comes out of nowhere to the foul line to pick the rebound off the hardwood, and then she's fouled in the process. And so Butler caught watching after that missed shot by Haley Brown, and Leah Brown takes advantage.
Leah Brown, the transfer from Lincoln, Nebraska, has been quite the standout this year. 24 points in their last game against Wright State, showing why she deserves a spot in the starting lineup early on.
She fakes a three on the wing there, give to Dilk. Dilk straddles the baseline, reverse layup, left it short, gets her own miss, goes back up with the right-handed flip shot. That's no good. Adika breaks from the pack, streaking down the middle. Michigan gets back, crosses up Leah Brown, who knocks it away out of bounds, and that's going to go off the knee of Adika and heading back to Michigan. Nice job again there by Leah Brown, getting back there to stop the fast break.
She anticipated the crossover there from Adika and just kind of bounced it off her leg. Another turnover for the Bulldogs.
Johnson on the wing, give inside Hillman. She's double teamed. Back out Johnson, launches a corner three. That went off the side of the backboard and caroms into the hands of Adika. Chusu right to left, giving the right side for Ellen Ross. Puts it on the deck with Brown. Give back out Terry. Now Adika lines up a right wing three. That's off the heel. Butler continues to misfire, and Dilk with the rebound. Dancing the other way, pushing the tempo. Hillman running the floor. She lays it up and in. Beautiful feed by Dilk, who launched the pass from her own backcourt. And it's the 6'2" Hillman doing what she does so well, running the floor, beating Butler down. And Michigan could not have gotten off to a cleaner, crisper start, up 12-0, 5 minutes into this one.
It's quite amazing. Naz Hillman has such a big frame physically, but she can really run the floor like you said, Jared. And I'm not sure who the pass came from. It may have been Dilk, but was it Dilk?
Yes, Dilk.
Yeah, I mean, looking like a quarterback there. I mean, that pass has to be on the money, because the defender was running with Naz pretty well, but just above her arms, and Naz able to lay it in. Michigan with an early 12-0 lead, and the Butler head coach, I don't know his name, Mr.
Kurt Godlewski
has to call a timeout here. This marks his 7th season as head coach at Butler. Has 87 wins, making the 4th most by the coach in program history.
And a quick rundown on the state of the Butler program. Last year they went 19-11 and finished in a 5-way tie for 3rd place in a crowded Big East Conference, and then suffered attrition over the offseason. They lost their 4 top scorers, including Kristen Spoilar, who graduated after notching 18 points per game last season. And these first 2 games, and now so far 5 minutes into this one, have definitely been a byproduct of such. The Bulldogs lost their first game to Providence by 21, lost their second game to Creighton by 47. And so far, 5 minutes into this one, it looks like they may be in store for a similar result.
Yeah, looking at the season totals for Butler, kind of at a high level, they're only shooting 30% from the floor and 28.6% from 3, which is really not impressive considering that they've held their opponents to 53% from the field and 47% from 3. And you know, the shooting struggles continue here for Butler. They're 0 for 5 from deep. And it almost looks like Michigan defensively is giving Butler some of those threes. They're kind of playing back in the lane, and maybe that's the game plan going into today for Kim Barnes-Arico and the Wolverines.
Yeah, we're about ready to come out of the timeout here. It will be Butler basketball. The Bulldogs trying to crack the scoreboard down 12-0. Michigan will keep their 5 starters out there. Amy Dilka, Kenray Johnson, Leah Brown, Haley Brown, and Naz Hillman. For Butler, it will be a Chuso to bring it out right to left. Bulldogs still off the scoreboard. A Chuso crosses of Johnson, flips back right wing for Adika, given the near side corner. Terry launches a 3, that rims out, and fighting for the rebound is Adika, and she'll get it. She was fouled underneath as well. Not sure who the whistle was on. It was on Amy Dilk. That'll be her first.
Yeah, Adika kind of a focal point of this offense for the Bulldogs. She averages 16.5 on the year. She's 6 for 6 from the line. This will be her 7th attempt of the year.
And she avoids the announcer's jinx on that one. And Butler has cracked the scoreboard 5 minutes and 9 seconds in. She'll have one more here. And gets it to go. And substitution here. Atuso will check out of the game. Analia Dawn checks in. Amy Dilk left to right for Michigan. The Wolverines offense clicking on all cylinders in the early going, up 12-2. Naz Hillman pass along the left side, goes to Leah Brown. Brown cross court right wing Johnson, fakes a 3, back out up top for Brown. Swings it left side. Dilk lines up a 3-pointer. That rims out. Nice box out underneath by Ross. Butler went to a bit of a zone there, and it paid dividends on that possession at least.
Not allowing the ball to get inside to Naz Hillman, allowing Dilk to shoot that 3 from the corner. Seems to pay off.
Bounce pass right side. Goes to Dawn. Up top, Adika drives right. Sealed off by Johnson. Step back jumper from the elbow. In and out. And so the lid's still on the basket for Butler. The Bulldogs without a field goal. Leah Brown brings it up the right side off the Haley Brown pass. Whips it cross court, far side corner for Johnson. Pump fakes, takes the baseline. Sidesteps Ross inside and banks it in. Nice acrobatics by Kenray Johnson.
Kind of a Euro step, almost out of control there, but she gets to go down low. Kenray Johnson, always swift on her feet.
Dawn handling for Butler. She's got Johnson up top, veers off to the right, spins to the left now, flips it along the left wing for Ross. Thought about pulling trigger, and it drives right onto Brown. Given the far side corner, Sexton lines up a 3, and it goes. A bit of a moon ball, and at last Butler has a field goal to carve the deficit down to 9.
The lid is finally off the basket for the Bulldogs. Still 14-5.
Dilk, a bit of an errant pass there in the short corner, looking for Hillman underneath, who was swarmed by 3 black shirts, and it was knocked out of bounds by Hillman. So it'll go back to Butler. Bulldogs perhaps trying to capture a bit of momentum here. Dilk will take a seat as well. First substitution of the game for Michigan. Daniel Roush checks in as Butler brings it across. 3:19 left in the first quarter. Michigan up 9, 14-5. Catching on the right wing is Alexander. Lobs underneath for Dew. Looks to back down Hillman. Ball on her right hand. Woldoff underneath, falls down and throws it away. Roush a steal. Michigan has numbers. One defender back for Butler. Bounce pass to Brown. Running the floor. She banks it in. Counted and a foul.
And that all starts in the defensive end with the impeccable defense by Naz Hillman, showing that she's not just an offensive standout, but really good on defensive end. And then obviously Daniel Roush and Leah Brown running the transition. Beautiful assist there by Roush.
And Leah Brown, nice job running the floor, recognizing that Roush needed help, and then able to muscle it in through contact. Brown gets the free throw to go. 74% free throw shooter. Now she'll take a seat. Maddie Nolan checks into the game. The sophomore shooting guard out of Zionsville, Indiana. Also into the game for Michigan is Elise Stuck, the freshman.
Out of Charlevoix, Michigan.
Pull up from the left side jumper is way strong for Alexander. Rebound trickles out of bounds in front of the Wolverine bench. It'll head to Michigan. Fighting in there was Dumont for Butler, but she couldn't corral it. Substitutions now for the Bulldogs. They'll get a pair of starters back in. Upe Achuso and Okako Adika enter for the Bulldogs.
Interestingly enough, Michigan only has 2 players on the roster from Michigan, both being freshmen. They had 0 players on the roster last year from the state of Michigan, and Butler actually has, as Johnson launches a 3 from deep, Butler actually has only 2 players from Indiana, and Michigan has 4 players from Indiana.
Adika the other way for Butler on the right wing. Now underneath for Dumont. She'll back down Hillman. Johnson brings the double and she throws it away. Floats it cross court and picked off by Roush. orchestrating a 4-on-3 bounce pass left side. Johnson stops, and she throws it away. Roush diving for it, and she trips up Chusu in the process. And that's going to be a foul. Danielle Roush a little slow to get up. She walks it off now. That's Roush's first personal, the second on Michigan.
Kennery Johnson picked up a dribble in transition there. Didn't know exactly where to go with it. Ends up turning it over. And I think Danielle Roush's accidental foul actually saved Michigan from giving up a basket there. A foul nonetheless.
Yeah, a Tuso would have had an easy fast break layup all by herself. Instead, the Bulldogs will inbound it, sidelines out. Du gets it into Atosu. Atosu right side. Alexander's got it, arcs it back for Adika. Guarded by Roush, looks it back or down, spins to her right, gets to the block, wraparound pass, and it bounced along the baseline, not before it was deflected by a Wolverine, and so it'll stay this way.
Great defense there by Daniel Roush. A little undersized there against Adika, who was backing her down. 15 seconds, ball being inbound below the basket here for Butler.
Tuso putting it into motion, gets it in for Domont, hands it off back to Tuso. Drives inside, floats it right wing. Alexander catch and shoot three-pointer, too strong, and then ricochets over the top of the backboard out of bounds. So it's going to Michigan. A minute 48 left here in the first quarter. The Wolverines have thoroughly dominated, up 17-5 against an outmatched Butler team. Nolan pass up top for Kenray Johnson. Orders Roush to the near side corner, gets it to her on a hop. Roush handling, pass up top for Nolan. Swings it left side of Kenray Johnson, left alone, passes up an open shot. Trying to get it to Hillman. Cross court Roush launches for three from the right wing off the heel. Nas fighting for the rebound in the short corner, and wrestling it away is Alexander. A nice little double team on the board effort. Alexander up ahead of the pack. Pass goes through the hands of Doman along the right alley. And it'll go back to Michigan as Ellen Ross checks into the game for Butler. Nyamir Du taking a seat.
Dana Roush just missed that shot from the outside from three, but I liked how she was ready to shoot. I think Butler's kind of in the zone where they're just far away enough where they're afraid to pull a trigger. Michigan offensively has to be ready to shoot with their hands and feet ready.
We'll see how Michigan continues to try to break this zone here. It's stuck on the right end line. Launches cross court for Nolan. Passed up an open shot. Give up Roush back to Nolan. In a short corner, Johnson tight ropes the baseline, and she got bumped. A foul called on Adika. That's her second.
56 seconds left here in the first quarter. Michigan holding on to a 12-point lead. It'll be A.K. Johnson at the line to shoot two.
With Butler in the bonus, Johnson will head to the free throw line. An 83% shooter in the year, nails down the first. And Kennery Johnson, in her fifth year in Michigan, she tore her ACL twice, once in her junior year of high school and then again in her freshman year. Was able to secure a backdated waiver to get that coveted fifth year as she knocks down a pair of free throws, and she has made all the difference as a Swiss Army knife of sorts for Michigan this season. Whitney Solom checks into the game for the Wolverines, the freshman. So Michigan riding with two freshmen underneath and Solomon stuck out there along with Roush, Nolan, and Johnson. Alexander on the right wing for Butler, a bounce for Ross with Stuck, give up top for Atuso. Knifes inside, left side feed, goes behind her back, Alexander, left-handed hook shot blocked by Solom, making an instant impact. Nolan dances the other way, pass ahead, left wing for Johnson, pass up top, Nolan hesitated on an open look, give for Johnson, tried to feed it inside to Stuck, Butler fronts it well. Nolan on the right wing, Stuck now catches at the foul line, arcs underneath Solom, triple team, back out Roush, swings it for Nolan on the wing, a bounce past Solom, turns and fires a right-handed hook shot way too strong, rebound gobbled up underneath by Butler.
Butler had a chance to push in transition there. They don't seem to have anything going on offensively well in any sets. I'm surprised they didn't push there with 3 seconds left.
3 seconds, and they don't seem in a hurry. It'll be a pull-up three from the left wing by Alexander. It clanks off the heel. Rebound batted around, ultimately secured by Stuck for Michigan. And that'll put an end to what was a thoroughly dominant quarter by the Michigan Wolverines. They lead 19-5. They got off to a 12-0 start. Held Butler scoreless over the first 3.5 minutes and over the last 3.5 minutes. The Bulldogs held to just a lone field goal.
Yeah, it was Sexton who scored for the Butler Bulldogs, and that was actually her first basket of the season. She actually hadn't played a minute before coming into this one. And then Adika with 2 free throws there. Michigan up 19-5 and just dominating. You look at the box score, Butler 1 for 14 from the field, and they're 1 for 9 from 3. They either have to start pushing in transition and getting away from their set, or start hitting more threes. But yeah, really a testament here to the Michigan women's basketball defense. Really good individual defense in my opinion. Seems like Butler tries to post them up, and all 5 players defensively from Michigan really staying strong with a strong base, but also a lot of help defense as well. Anytime Butler was penetrating and beat a Michigan defender, someone was there. But yeah, Michigan off to a good start in this one. Can't imagine, the second quarter is going to look too much different in my opinion.
Yep, and 3 players have cracked the scoreboard for Michigan. Naz Hillman's got 5, and then leading the way, Kenry Johnson with 7, and Leah Brown with 7 as well. This is a Wolverines team who last played Sunday, a 82-59 shellacking over Wright State, and before that, a momentous road win against the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame in South Bend, a 76-66 victory. That's their first win over Notre Dame in 12 years. Those wins vaulted Michigan up to the 19th spot in the rankings, and Kim Barnes-Arico in her 9th season may very well have the most talented team that she's ever had in Ann Arbor.
Yeah, hopefully they're able to put it all together this season and go back to Notre Dame. They lost a really close one last year here at Chrysler, but able to pull off the win last Thursday night against the Fighting Irish down in South Bend. But really kind of the story of the season so far is great team defense, and then offensively Naz Hillman and Leah Brown have been standouts. Naz Hillman averaging 24.6 on the season, then the transfer from Nebraska, Leah Brown, averaging 17.8, both shooting above 60% from the field, which is very impressive. Really good offensive efficiency from the Wolverines this season.
And we're about ready to kickstart things in the second quarter here for Michigan. Wolverines running with Haley Brown, Naz Hillman, Leah Brown, Michelle Sedor into the game, and Daniel Roush as well. It's Butler basketball. Ross has at the right elbow, back to the basket, give out for Dowell, walled off, flips left side for Sexton. She's got the lone hoop for Butler. Driving is Atuso, across the lane, flips out right side for Dowell, into the post, and now in the short corner. And backing down to the elbow, Ross tries a nifty hook shot, way strong. A bit ill-advised there, and the rebound goes to Sedor, pushing the tempo up on the left side. Brown couldn't come down with it cleanly, lobs it back out, and Hillman corrals on the left wing. Michigan moves it around the arc, and now sends it back to the left side, Brown. And lining up a high-arcing 3, and hitting is Michelle Sedor right into the game, and making an impact, pushing the lead to 17.
And that's how you beat a zone defense. A nice skip pass, and Leah Brown, without even a second thought, quickly hits it, or gives it to, I think it was Danielle Roush, Sedor, who ended up hitting the 3.
On the other end, Butler misfires. Fighting for the rebound on the back tap is Ross, but she knocks it out of bounds in front of the Michigan bench. Heading back to the Wolverines. Amy Dilk, the starting point guard, will check back into this one. Danielle Roush, who played some nice minutes, will take a seat. Dilk carries left to right into the forecourt for Michigan. Butler still in a bit of that 3-2 zone, 2-3 zone, some sort of variation. They look a little out of sorts. In the short corner, it's Dilk, hesitates, now fires up the jumper and knocks it down. A nice little 16-footer there.
It's more of a triple team, Naz Hillman down low, and then 2 people run around the perimeter and try to defend any 3-point shooters.
And it does not seem to be working. The Bulldogs trail 24-5. Pass out left side for Dow, giving this corner for Ross. Thought about pulling trigger on a 3. Takes Haley Brown to the elbow. Flips up top Sexton along the right side for Adika. Adika guarded by Dilk, cuts back to the elbow. Ross straight away, lines up a 3, too strong. Rebound Haley Brown, that's now 11 3-pointers by Butler. They've made only 1. Cross court, Leah Brown in the far side corner, drives, flips it for Sedor, extra feed, Dilk, near side corner, all alone, left to 3, short. Rebound comes right back to her, lobs underneath Hillman, turns and fires over the top of her defender, misses, gets her own miss, and then lays it right back up and in.
That offensive possession for the Wolverines had just about everything you want to see. A baseline penetration by Leah Brown to a cross-court pass to a quick, another pass to Amy Dilk, who missed a 3, and then an offensive rebound by Naz Hillman. Actually make that 2 offensive rebounds, and then finally an and 1. Michigan really just kind of tearing up this Butler Bulldog defense early on here.
Yeah, I was all ready to say that Adika did a nice job walling off Hillman, going with her hands straight up, and then she held her pose, and Naz skirted right around her to follow her own miss, and Adika was still standing there. Hillman misses the free throw. Michigan fighting for the rebound, but it's ultimately taken by Atuso, and she'll bring it across right to left for Butler. 7:47 left in the second quarter. Michigan with a commanding 26-5 advantage. Sexton gives in the far side corner for Atusu. Takes Leah Brown off the bounce. Flips it near side corner. Deep two for Sexton. Grazes the iron. Haley Brown wrestles away the rebound from Ellen Ross for Michigan. Give to Dilk. Crosses half court. Flings it near side corner. Seedor. She'll take a three. She was left open and knocks it down. That's 2 3-pointers for Michelle Seedor. And Butler seems more than willing to concede those outside jumpers.
Seedor, the sophomore from New Jersey, kind of fighting for minutes. There's a lot of shooters on this Michigan team, and she knocks down a three there. That's kind of her main job on this team, as she just gives up a three on the other end. Butler finally able to knock another one down.
Sexton has now accounted for both Butler baskets. Underneath on the other end, Hillman off a beautiful arcing feed by Leah Brown. Turns and throws it right up and in off glass. She's fouled again. And Naz Hillman proving to be a handful, as she so often is. We'll have another chance at a three-point play.
As Solom is going to check in here for the shooter, Naz Hillman. And Naz Hillman doing an unbelievable job there of kind of getting below the zone. She was getting fronted by the defender, and I'm not sure who threw the pass in, but up and over. And once Naz gets the ball that low, you're basically done.
I mean, by this point, Naz Hillman is well accustomed to the double and even triple teams. She has seen every sort of defensive formation thrown her way. Hillman makes the free throw. She's up to 10 points. The freshman Whitney Solom takes a seat. And I don't know if I noticed this first time around, but Naimir Du just checked back into this game, and she's wearing a mask. Was she wearing a mask in her first stint? Because I didn't catch it.
I did not catch it either. I don't think she was, but she is now. Pretty interesting there. Obviously, I don't think that's part of the protocol here in Big Ten play, but yeah, pretty interesting to note that.
Alexander, a layup on the other end, so Butler mounting back-to-back field goals. On the other end here, Amy Dilk, too strong short corner jumper, but Whitney Solom draws a foul, battling for the weak side rebound.
No, I'm not sure if maybe that's a that does look like a medical mask. I'm not sure. You know, sometimes they wear face shields for protective purposes, especially in the nasal area, but that does look like a mask. Pretty interesting.
Yeah, looks like the ones we've got on right here. Solom at the elbow, in traffic, gets it to Dilk. Her pass looking for Brown on the wing is batted down and taken by Alexander. Scampers the other way, numbers for Butler. Left side feed, Tusu lines up a three, can't go. Two Wolverines battle for the rebound, and saving it for Butler is Domont to Tuso. Now Alexander backs down, spinning into a double team, and is fouled. So nice hustle play by Butler. Domont taking advantage of the fact that Haley Brown and Whitney Solom collided going for the same board.
Yeah, Haley Brown, one of the best defensive rebounders on this team. She already has 4 today, but her and the freshman Solom kind of go after the same ball there, and it almost bounces out of bounds, but we're able to save it and get a second chance opportunity here.
Alexander at the free throw line. She has struggled mightily today. 1 of 7 from the field. Butler not doing much better as a team. 3 of 21 as a collective unit. Sinks the first free throw. 32-11, Michigan with the lead. 6:12 here left here in the second quarter from Chrysler. Naz Hillman leads away for the Wolverines with 10 points. And Alexander hits a pair, carving the deficit down to 20. Substitutions for Butler. Tuso takes a seat. Okako Adika re-enters this one. Amelia Dawn in the game as well. So it's Dawn and Sexton manning the top of that, well, it looks to be a more formidable 2-3 zone now. Leah Brown cross court on the left wing to Seedor. Back to Brown. Ball fakes, takes her way to the elbow. Jump pass in the far side corner. Seedor. She'll try her luck again and gets it to go. 3 3-pointers now for Michelle Seedor.
Seedor, quite the shooter. She's really good from the corner. The assist there from Brown. Michigan now up 35-12 with just about 5 minutes remaining in this one.
That's 3 assists now for Brown. Sexton flips left side for Adika. Takes Solom off the bounce. Push pass in the near side corner. High arcing jumper too strong. Alexander comes down with the rebound. Leah Brown swatted the first effort away, but Alexander got it back and then able to finish through contact again. She'll have a chance for a 3-point play.
Kind of a tough break there for Brown. One of those air balls. You're kind of expecting it to hit the rim and bounce a different direction, but that ball goes right into the hands of, I'm not sure who's at the line, Alexander there. But I guess Brown could have done maybe a better job of boxing out.
Yeah, Domont put a little too much on that 14-foot short corner jumper, catching Brown off guard, as you said. Alexander hitting the free throw, so converts on the three-point play. Naz Hillman will check into the game for Michigan. And who's going to take a seat? It's going to be Whitney Solemn. McHenry Johnson's back in as well. So Michigan running with Dilk, Hillman, Johnson, Seedor, who's been the co-star of the show so far with Hillman, and Haley Brown as well. Dilk breaks away from Dawn in a bit of a full-court press by Butler. Launches it cross-court right wing Seedor. She's open again. This time she can't hit. It rolls off the rim. A rebound underneath for Ellen Ross, who's back into this one, and she got fouled by Amy Dilk, who came up grimacing a little bit. And she's going to take a seat on the bench. Not sure if it was something in her shoulder or not. She looks to be fine.
Naz Hillman just checked in recently for the Wolverines. Haven't heard of her. Is she any good?
I think she's pretty good. We might have mentioned something about 187 preseason watch lists.
So this is not her first minute of the season?
I don't think so, no. Daniel Roush in the game as well, and Butler throws it away. Alexander looking left side. It was a bit too far outside of the reach of Rosemary Domont. And that's another turnover for the Bulldogs. They're up to 7 on the game.
In a game like this where Butler's looking to pull up an upset, there's certain things you have to do, and that's shoot the ball well from 3 and not turn the basketball over, and Butler is not doing any of those.
2 of 13 from 3 and 7 turnovers. Hence a 20-point deficit. Seedor catches on the wing and moves toward the top of the key, throws it back left side to Kenray Johnson. Jab steps, drives, floater off glass is good. She shook Adika out of her shoes and then gets the layup to go. Johnson now with 9 points.
Nice finish there on the left-hand side with her right hand. Johnson showing why she's a fifth-year senior, so experienced, and she's just so good offensively and defensively for the Wolverines.
Alexander to Ross to Adika on the wing, guarded by Seedor. Bounce pass for Ross, flips up top, Sexton. Back down low, Ross. Flings it cross-court far side corner. Adika catch and shoot, got a 3. So Adika nails her first field goal, 1 of 4 now from the field, and Butler within 19. Michigan pushing the tempo the other way. Johnson loops it underneath. Hillman catches on the left block, turns and flips it up and in off the window. Yet another 3-point play opportunity for Hillman.
And looks like Daniel Roush was making a cut at the same time that entry pass was thrown. So there was even an extra defender almost, essentially, with for Naz Hillman there, but she's still able to finish over 2 Butler Bulldogs and the cutting Daniel Roush. Naz Hillman, quite the standout today. She has 12 points and showing why she averages 24.6 on the year and why she is possibly a player of the year.
Yeah, well, Roush better get out of her way because Naz is catching anything that comes remotely in her area. Again, Naz Hillman, 25 points on the year with 10 rebounds as well. The 6'2" junior out of Cleveland, Ohio. Already a very accomplished player in her young career, a 2-time All-Big Ten first-team member. This year she was the co-preseason Big Ten Player of the Year. And whatever Michigan does on the offensive end runs through Naz Hillman.
And I'm always thinking about stuff like this. You know, she has to be a scout team nightmare for these opposing teams. That has to be 90% of the discussion for opposing teams. How do you guard Naz Hillman? And, you know, it'll be interesting to see how teams do it. I mean, we're seeing a zone today to no avail. I'm sure you have teams just straight double-teaming her. You wonder if they're just going to start fouling her, but she's such a good free throw shooter that you can't do that as well. Yeah, she has to be a scout team nightmare for all these teams coming into Chrysler every single game.
Definitely, and I think when Michigan becomes all the more dangerous is when they can pepper those weapons around Hillman. And they have shooters hitting their outside shots. Today, the impetus has been Michelle Seedor. She's knocked down 3 3-pointers. Haley Brown is one of the top 3-point shooters in the Big Ten. Leah Brown as well, the Big Ten 6th Player of the Year last year, transfer from Nebraska, has stepped in seamlessly in her first season in the maize and blue and averaged 18 points a game. Kenray Johnson, Amy Dilka's point. I mean, this is a team that has no shortage of weapons on the offensive end.
Yeah, when you have such a weapon in Naz Hillman and then you have really good 3-point shooters around you, that's really setting up for, you know, possibly a postseason run for the Wolverines. KBA, Kim Barnes-Arica, the head coach for the Wolverines, in her ninth season now, hasn't had too much success in March necessarily, but if these Wolverines are able to stay healthy, I know it's early, it's only the 5th game of the season. If they're able to stay healthy, they've got a really good system this year, and I think this team is probably the best team KBA has had in her tenure here at Michigan.
Coming out of timeout, Nas Hillman completes the 3-point play by knocking down the free throw. She's 3 of 5 now from the line. Butler the other way, Dawn up top for Adika. Fakes a pass inside, and then her bounce pass deflects off the leg of Danielle Roush. Michigan running with Roush and Cedar at the guards, Kenray Johnson and Haley Brown as the forwards, and Nas Hillman as well. And now a substitution entering the game for the first time is the freshman Cameron Williams. Haley Brown will take a seat. Williams, a highly touted 5-star recruit. You might remember her father, Aaron, who played 15 years in the NBA, most notably with the New Jersey Nets. Butler off the inbounds pass gets a quick basket. Wolverines lost Adika on the back line. She lays it up and in, bringing this game to a 20-point margin. It's 40-20. Wolverines up top. Hillman, right side feed goes to Roush. Pass along the left side for Johnson. Push pass up top. Williams arcs it underneath. That one a little too tall for Nas Hillman, who was swarmed in a triple team. And so a turnover by the freshman.
Cameron Williams from Chicago, Illinois, like you said, Jared, went to Whitney Young, Chicago powerhouse in high school basketball. Them and Simeon go back and forth a lot. And she played for the Mac Irvin Fire, which is actually the same team as, if you remember, Jordan Poole, as his A team when he was playing high school basketball back in the day.
Perhaps Cameron Williams will add a shot to her Michigan legacy one day. Michigan at the other end. Roush pushing the tempo, floats it back out right side for Johnson. Walled off on the dribble drive. Give back out Roush on the wing. Extra feed Johnson in the near side corner. Left all alone. She cans a 3. That's 12 points now for Kenray Johnson. And the lead all the way up to 23 points.
A.K. Johnson, one of the sweetest shots on this Michigan basketball team. You can't leave her open like that from the corner. She'll get you every time.
Alexander, push pass in the far side corner for Sexton. Launches cross court on the dribble drive is Dowell. Her floater won't go, but that's an offensive foul. Looks like Nas Hillman standing her ground underneath.
Nas Hillman once again showing she was really good on the defensive end. Smart play there, out of control there. I think it was Sexton on the baseline. Or maybe it was not Sexton, excuse me.
I think it was Dowell there for Butler. Substitution for Michigan. Maddie Nolan checks into this one. Cedar takes a seat. Nolan on the left wing arcs it to the elbow for Williams. Back out right side of Kenray Johnson. Fakes a 3. Takes her defender off the bounce. Flips it out in the far side corner. Swing pass for Nolan. Now Hillman at the elbow. Skip pass left side. Nolan on the wing. Hillman up top. Right side Johnson. Fakes, brings it to the short corner. She's doubled. Launches cross court for Roush. Lines up a 3. Rails home. Good passing on that position by Michigan. Ultimately finding a wide open Danielle Roush.
Surprised you could even keep up with the perimeter passing there, Jared, but Roush knocks down the 3. Corner 3 for the Butler Bulldogs.
They're testing me for sure, and that is Dew, who is now not donning a mask. So, not sure what's going on there with the decision to wear a mask at some points and then not wear at others. Nonetheless, Michigan doubling Butler up 46-23. Roush on the left wing, give for Nolan. She'll step into a 3. That's good. Michigan's starting to heat up now from beyond the arc. The onslaught is on. This is the largest lead of the game. It's 26.
Maddie Nolan, Danielle Roush, Michelle Cedar, all kind of similar players, kind of a smaller frame, but all really dangerous from 3. They're all taking advantage of the minutes they're being given in this one. Nolan knocks down the 3-point shot from deep.
A minute 18 here left in the half. Michigan up 26. Ross left side for Dew, closed in nicely by Hillman. Back out Ross, swings left side for a Tuso. Walled off in the short corner. Step back jumper over Nolan is good. A nice little tough shot there by a Tuso.
Just got to tip your cap there. Maddie Nolan beat her to the spot. Really good defensive stand, but tough shot there. And Butler still down 24 in this one. 50 seconds remaining in the second quarter.
Johnson on the wing, give to Williams at the left elbow. Guarded by a Tuso. Cross-court feed for Nolan. With Dew on her, brings it to the top of the key, flips left side Johnson, swings it far side corner, lining up a 3 is Roush, won't go. Rebound taken by Alexander. She's running down the left side of the court. Michigan gets back. Alexander goes right at Johnson, tries a sidestep, muscles it in with the left hand off the glass. Nice little finish, and again, I think all you can do there is tip your cap.
Yeah, A.K. Johnson got back there in transition defense. She was at the top of the key, and that's something KBA always preaches is one person always getting back on defense, but just a tough shot there for the Butler Bulldogs. Got to tip your cap once again.
1 second differential shot clock, game clock here with 12 to shoot. Michigan can virtually hold for the final shot. Skip pass cross court goes in the near side corner. Now underneath Williams, perhaps ill-advised, can't hit the layup, but rebound falls to Hillman. She misses the follow, 2 seconds. Alexander is not going to heave one up, and that's going to put a finish on a resounding first half effort by the number 19 ranked Michigan Wolverines. They're up 49 to 27 as they'll head into the locker room with a pep in their step, and Naz Hillman leads the way with 13 points, and Kenry Johnson with 12 of her own. Michigan came out of the gates hot, and they have not looked back.
Almost a impeccable half there, a perfect half there. I mean, for the Wolverines, they shot 66% from three, 6 for 9, and then 61% from the field. Overall, really impressive showing for the Wolverines offensively and then defensively as well. I talked about really good individual defense. Butler's trying to kind of spin their way into the lane, but they keep on turning it over. Really good help defense as well, but they've really done a good job of turning defense into offense. They've got a few transition baskets, and then obviously the three-point shooting has been stellar on the outside. Like I said, 6 for 9, and some of those bench players like Cedar Nolan or even Daniel Rasha coming in and kind of making their statement known. Really just a perfect half for the Wolverines, up 22. This should be a kind of an interesting second half. We'll see if Butler changes their strategy at all with that defense that they're running, that 2-3 or 3-2. We couldn't even figure it out.
Yeah, 14 assists as well on 18 made baskets for the Wolverines. Again, Michigan up here on the Wednesday matinee, 49-27, blitzing the beleaguered Butler Bulldogs. Wolverines entered the contest at 4-0, Butler at 0-2. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back in about 14 minutes or so for the second half. Thanks for listening so far, and stick with us here on WCBN Sports. And welcome back to Chrysler Center. We've got the second half here for Michigan and Butler. The Wolverines up 49-27 coming out of the locker room. Michigan were rolling with their 5 starters. Haley Brown, Leah Brown, Amy Dilk, Nas Hillman, and Kenray Johnson. Pass underneath, looking for Leah Brown, batted away by Butler and into the arms of Atuso. She rumbles the other way, bounce pass right side for Alexander. Pulls up for a little 16-footer, rims off. Rebound for Kenray Johnson. So Butler pushing the tempo quickly. Michigan the other way, Dilk pass up top, Haley Brown.
Butler still in that 2-3 zone.
Leah Brown lines up a 3 from the left wing. That rolls off. Hillman tips the rebound to Dilk underneath. 3 on the back line. Reverse rims in and out. Brown gets the rebound. And Haley Brown with a little 4-footer found herself all alone. And that's her first made field goal through 14 minutes of play for her. She cracks the scoreboard. Averaging 12 points a game. Has 2 now. Underneath Domont. Looking to back down Haley Brown. Turns to her right-handed hook, slipped underneath her, and lays it up and in.
Yeah, despite giving up the basket on the defensive end there, that was Haley Brown's first basket of the game, last possession, but she does so much more for this Michigan team in terms of defensive rebounding and really good down-low defense.
Leah Brown knifes to her right, flips along the wing for Johnson, pass underneath Hillman, spins off Jamont, and banks it up and in. More of the same from what we saw in the first half for Nas Hillman, up to 15 points now.
Really good post entry there from A.K. Johnson. And Nas Hillman just an easy spin there, one dribble up and in.
53-29, Michigan on top of Butler. A minute and a half gone by here in the second half. Atuso given the corner, and Adika stepped on the end line when she received the pass from Naimer Du. A turnover for Butler. That's the 8th for the Bulldogs. And a quick substitution as well. Number 25, Ellen Ross, will enter the game. A swap of the centers. Looks like Rosemary Dumont is bending over a bit on the sideline. She might have been banged up a little bit there, so she'll take a seat. Michigan heads the other way via Amy Dilk on the right side, veers off to the wing. Pass up top, Haley Brown pivots to her left, now puts it on the deck, flips left wing. Pass goes to Leah Brown, brings it back toward the middle. She's bumped by Du, spins off her, takes it to the foul line. Pull-up jumper is good. Nice job by Leah Brown fighting through the contact.
Yeah, really nice spin move. Back to her left hand, and then with the short jumper there, Leah Brown showing her offensive prowess.
Atuso pass underneath for Ross. Step back jumper from the right side, in and out. Dilk rises for the rebound.
If you saw that right there, Butler had 0 offensive players go for the offensive rebound. All 5 players getting back in transition defense. Probably a halftime adjustments for the Bulldogs right there.
Johnson on the right wing, nearly dragged her pivot foot, crosses up Adika, pass back up top. Haley Brown launches a straightaway 3, rolls off the rim. Dilk tips the rebound underneath Hillman. An ill-advised pass underneath, tried to throw it right back inside for Dilk. Butler the other way, Alexander sashaying across the lane, and her shot is blocked underneath, swallowed up by Hillman. A bit of a frenetic sequence there on both ends. Nas, a bit of redemption after committing the turnover, able to block the layup at the other end.
And Nas Hillman grabbed the offensive rebound with one hand, tried to throw it right back into Dilk, but she gets back in the transition defense and swats the Butler Bulldog right there.
Went for the baseball pass at the other end. Quick 3 for Adika, rolls off. Alexander left alone and then went right back up after the rebound. The layup is short, shows some frustration. Michigan the other way, Brown down the left side, layup, but that won't go. She's fouled by Adika. And Michigan getting up and down the court in a hurry.
A.K. Johnson with really good defense there down low. The refs seemed to call the defensive foul or the shooting foul when your hands kind of reach over the defender. She was straight up there like a pencil. Good no call by the referee. And then Leah Brown obviously in transition there. She'll go to the line to shoot 2.
The foul at the other end goes on Ross for Butler. Substitutions. Tenley Dowell checks into the game. Naimer Du takes a seat. First free throw is good by Leah Brown, and Leah Brown has been instrumental in Michigan's early season success. As we mentioned, the transfer from Nebraska has fit in seamlessly. Scored 22 in the opener, played all 40 minutes in the win against Notre Dame, averaging 18 points per game on the young season. Tonight, she has 10 as she misses that free throw. Michigan up 56-29. Dowell Tenley on the right side for Atuso, takes the end line, pass back out for Sexton in the near side corner now. Atuso drives, jump pass far side corner. Sexton launches a 3. That's good. Sexton showing a bit of a shooting touch for all of Butler's 3-point struggles. She's 3 of 3. Haley Brown up top, high-low for Hillman underneath, bottle up and fouled. Adika whacked her across the forearm. Nice feed underneath by Brown.
Yeah, Michigan does that so well. That's really their main look on the offensive end for the last few seasons with Naz Hillman being a junior. They kind of whip it around the perimeter, and then once it's up top, Naz Hillman kind of, seals the defender, and they just throw it over the top. And like I've said before, once she gets the ball that low, you're kind of done.
Naz buries the first. She's now 4-6 from the line today, an 85% free throw shooter on the young season. Last game out against Wright State, poured in 18 points, 10 rebounds, and 5 assists. A similar stat line in the works so far tonight as she makes that free throw up to 17 points and 6 rebounds. Michigan up by 26. Into the forecourt is Atuso, veers off to the left, takes it to down the alley, flips it up over Johnson, won't go. Haley Brown seizes the rebound. Johnson right to left, pushing down the middle for Michigan. Hop steps to her right, jump pass underneath Hillman on the block, bottled up by Sexton, knocked it out of bounds. It'll stay this way.
A good weak side defense help from Butler. They've maybe started to finally figure out that they're going to need more than one person to guard Naz down low. I think it was Sexton who knocked the ball out of bounds.
Elise Stuck, the 6'1 freshman, will check in. Naz will take a seat on the bench. Dilk puts it into motion for Michigan, launches right side for Kenray Johnson. Johnson veers off toward the top of the key, guarded by Adika. Pass right side, Leah Brown knifes her way inside. Right-handed floater, carved her way into the paint and gets the friendly roll.
Leah Brown once again, she drives with her left hand and able to put it up with her right hand and gets the friendly roll there. Michigan pushes the lead to 28 now.
Adika handles on the right wing with Leah Brown, orders Ellen Ross into the post. Try to get to her, picks up her dribble instead. Skip pass up top for Atuso. Shimmies on Johnson, giving the far side corner, lining up a three and can't hit. And the rebound knocked out of bounds. That was Dowell who missed a three. And then Haley Brown and Kenray Johnson both had their fingers on the rebound and neither could squeeze it. So it'll stay with Butler. 5.5 left in the third quarter. Michigan with a healthy 28-point lead. Dowell up top. Fakes the pass to the left side. Nice ball denial by Leah Brown. Dowell veers off to the right, trying to get it to Adika. And she throws it away in the near side corner. Elise Stuck draped all over her, and then Kenray Johnson flustering as well.
Kenray Johnson doing a nice job there, kind of denying the pass lane and then forcing a turnover there.
Quick outlet pass for Dilk to Johnson, cross-court right side for Leah Brown. Walled off in the short corner, ducks underneath, was given an angle, can't hit, and fouled from behind by Sexton. Brown sort of did a bit of an up and under there, ducking underneath, and Sexton got caught on the backside. And so Leah Brown will head to the free throw line for her 4th and 5th free throws on the day. Substitutions in mass here for both teams. Amy Dilk will take a seat. Danielle Rouse checks in. Meanwhile, for Butler, Abby Stoddard will see her first minutes. Anila Dawn in the game as well. Brown knocks down the first free throw. Maddie Nolan waiting at the scorer's table to check in for her. She knocks down this one, so she'll come out of the game. That's 14 points for Leah Brown, 5 of 7 shooting at 4 of 5 from the stripe. So we'll run through who Michigan has out there. It's Kenray Johnson, Maddie Nolan, Danielle Roush, Elise Stuck, and Haley Brown. A bit of a younger unit for Michigan. Butler comes the other way. It's Ross on the right side. Dribble handoff with Sexton, and that's going to be an offensive foul. That dribble handoff did not look smooth along the right wing, and Ross tried to set a bit of a screen, and she bodied into Nolan. That's the 4th team foul already. 5 minutes gone by in the third quarter on Butler, and we're going to get a timeout here on the floor.
Yeah, pretty interesting there with the lineup KBA decides to go with. You have Maddie Nolan and Danielle Roush out there at the same time. Typically last year you only have one of them out on the court at once, but going with the two shooters, not sure that's part of the game plan, but definitely interesting. And Michigan is up 30 at the first media timeout here in the second half. Junior Leah Brown, the transfer from Nebraska, as we said before. She's from Indiana as well, along with Amy Dilk and Maddie Nolan. I think one more Michigan player is from Indiana as well. Not sure the 4th is.
So a bit of a reverse homecoming of sorts for them.
You got to imagine that, with Amy Dilk being the Indiana Miss Basketball for her senior year, and she's actually the same age as Leah Brown. Both of them are probably highly recruited in-state by some of those in-state schools like Indiana, Butler, Notre Dame, but obviously coming to choosing to play for, well, I guess Nebraska for Leah Brown, and then obviously Michigan for Amy Doak. Indiana definitely has a rich history of high school basketball, especially for men's as well. But not sure how good Indiana women's basketball is. I don't think it has as rich a history as Indiana men's Hoosiers basketball. But definitely a good high school basketball state, highly recruited all over the nation.
So the Wolverines with a 30-point advantage here. 5 minutes and 2 seconds gone by in quarter number 3. 62-32 the score. There's 51-27 at the half, and Michigan on a 6-0 spurt, outscoring the Bulldogs 11-5. In the second half, they got off to a fast start, 12-0. It took about 5 minutes for Butler to finally crack the scoreboard and get their first field goal in this game, and Michigan's really never looked back. So the Wolverines break their huddle now following the timeout. It'll be the same lineup that they just had out there. Stuck the freshmen, Roush and Nolan, along with Haley Brown, the senior, and then Kenry Johnson, the fifth-year senior. Butler coming back as well. They'll have Adika, Stoddard, Ross, Dawn, and Sexton. Sexton, who has poured in three-pointers. She's been the most effective player in the offensive end for Butler so far today. Danielle Roush into the full court for Michigan, veers off to the right side, passing the far side corner for Johnson. Skip pass cross court goes to Nolan on the left side, fakes a three, give it an angle, takes the baseline, walled off with the block, double team. Back out for Roush, a bounce pass underneath Haley Brown. Nice job fronting the entry pass by Ross. She comes away with the steal.
Yeah, the rare turnover there for Danielle Roush, and like you said, Jared, very good job by fronting Haley Brown there.
Adika off the bounce pass right side corner, three-pointer short by Sexton. Nice job by Nolan tracking down the long rebound at the elbow. Flips to Roush, right to left, crosses the half-court line at the lip of the block hem. Bounce pass right side goes to Kenry Johnson. Has a Haley Brown screen, uses it, cuts back to the right, leans in at the elbow. Nice feed underneath for Stuck, goes up strong at the left block. Layup won't go. Johnson fighting for the rebound, but she stepped on the end line, and so it'll go back to Butler. Michelle Cedor checks into the game now for Kenry Johnson. Cedor, the spark in the first half from long range, knocked down 3 3-pointers to the tune of 9 points. Michigan up by 30, approaching 4 to play in quarter number 3. Butler handling along the perimeter. It's Adika, drives right, gets to the block, swallowed up underneath, but a foul is called. Nolan lost her from behind, and then Haley Brown coming over on the help. Not sure who it's on. And it's going to go on Haley Brown.
Easy call there for the referee. Haley Brown just kind of swipes down at, I think, number 4, Adika. And Adika and Atuso really kind of have to get going. They're the 2 leading scorers. Not doing too much today. Adika has 7, and Atuso only has 2 points on the day.
And this is a Butler team with a lot of new faces.
Yeah.
Adika and Atuso among them, both transfers from junior colleges. Adika from Odessa College in Texas, and Atuso from Lavette Community College in Kansas. A scrum erupts in the other end as Michigan couldn't inbound the ball cleanly, so a steal for Butler as they try to do what would seem like the impossible and come back from a 28-point deficit here with 3:40 left in the third. Flip shot by Adika from the right block, too strong, hit nothing but glass, and the rebound goes to Nolan, bursts into the forecourt, veers off down the left side, give near side corner, Cedor, she'll try a 3, rims out, rebound for Stuck. Back out Roush, and now Nolan will reset up top for Michigan.
Yeah, Butler entered a press defense there and created a turnover. That's the first luck they've given Michigan that's actually given them trouble.
Nolan too strong on a 3 from the corner on the weak side, Stuck again battling for the boards, but a little too overzealous, commits the over-the-back foul. Substitution for Butler. J.R. Alexander checks into this one. Okako Adike checks a seat. A little late scampering to the scorer's table is Rosemary Dumont, so still have to wait for the next whistle. Dawn handling for Butler. Picks up her dribble on the right side, pressed by Roush. Gets it in right side for Ross, facing the basket with Hillman. Goes to work. Pass out for Sexton. Takes her defender off the bounce, arcs it over his shoulder for Ross, left the jumper short. Long rebound tracked down at the foul line by Danielle Roush.
Given what's happened today, that's probably one of the better looks Butler has had, but the baseline short jumper is never an easy shot.
Nolan's pass underneath from the far side corner looking for Hillman was knocked out of bounds by Stoddard. And now Dumont will be able to check back into this game. Ross takes his seat. They'll swap the centers again as they try to deal with Naz Hillman, who's back into this one. Nolan on the right wing. She's got it as a switch. Arcs it underneath with Hillman. Turns, layup, and a foul. Like clockwork for Naz Hillman all day long. She'll have another chance at a three-point play.
Butler, no weak side help there. Once again, over the top to Naz Hillman. Great entry pass there by Danielle Roush.
Yes, Stoddard was a little late coming over on the weak side assignment. Naz up to 19, 5 of 7 from the line, trying to make it 6 of 8.
You got to imagine KBA probably has a shorter leash on Naz Hillman here with 2 minutes remaining in the third. Michigan up 30. She may not see much playing time in the fourth quarter if this game keeps on going the way it's going.
Free throw short by Naz, and perhaps on cue, Whitney Solom is at the scorer's table, waiting to check in. Dumont, left side Sexton comes off the curl. She's not shy of pulling trigger. This one's an air ball. Trickles out of bounds. Back to Michigan. Solom will check in who she's coming in for. Hillman will stay out there for now. She's coming in for Stuck.
One thing I've noticed about Naz, in her 3 years at Michigan, she's really become a leader on this team. I think freshman year she was a little more reserved, but she's become a vocal leader. And, she's become quite the defender, too. You saw her playing tough perimeter defense there. She's just so impressive, and I wouldn't be surprised if she makes her way to the pros, the WNBA, within the next year or two.
Very active in the community as well, speaking out very impassionedly against racial injustice. And no one within the Michigan program certainly has any bad words to say about Naz Hillman.
No. When you have a talent like that who works as hard as she does, and she has all the intangibles as well, it's something very special, and it's definitely fun to watch.
Nolan goes 1 of 2 from the line after being fouled on the press. So Michigan's lead stands at 21, 65-34 with 2:08 left in the third quarter. Dawn drives right, sealed off by Roush, flips back out for a Tuso. She carves her way inside, flips it in off the glass. The C's parted in the interior. And now Butler again wrecking some havoc on the fast break. Let's see if Michigan can break it. Hillman on the right side, she's doubled. Whistles it too far out in front of Roush down the left side, trying to save it. She stepped on the line. So Naz Hillman throws it too far in front, high and rising. And it'll head back to Butler. So the press, it may be too little too late, but it's paying dividends. And now, in our latest mask-wearing update, Okako Adika checks into this game wearing a mask. And it's the first time that she's worn a mask so far, despite playing 24 minutes. So not exactly sure what's going on there.
I wish I had an answer for you, Jared.
And the mask working. It does wonders. She hits a layup off a nice little feed from the outside, cutting through the defense. Up to 11 points now. Michigan breaking the press. Hillman spins off a defender, and then Atuso picks her pocket. Streaks down the left alley and lays it up and in.
KBA probably going to call for AK and Amy Dilk here pretty soon, and there it is. Bringing the starting 5 back in. Kind of interesting rotation there. It was 4 bench players with Nolan, Solom,
Cedar and
Roush around the star player Hillman, and KBA has seen enough.
Yeah, I think it certainly showed. Butler trying to creep back into this one, down 25. A foul was called as Michigan tried to break the press, and Butler swarmed near us along the near side. And Daniel Roush will head to the free throw line. Substitutions in mass. They'll get Amy Dilk, the surefire ball handler, back into this one. Kenray Johnson as well. Same with Leah Brown. And Naz Hillman remains in this one, as does Danielle Roush, who is at the free throw line and rims out on the first. Roush, 50% free throw shooter so far this season, albeit a small sample size.
Something I'm thinking about is, if Amy Dilk comes off the court, I don't know. I think your point guard there is probably Danielle Roush, but you'd like to maybe see Leah Brown in the game running the point guard if Amy is out of the game. But obviously Amy and Leah Brown out at the same time there. Maybe something for KB to think about going forward.
That foul underneath for Michigan. Alexander will head to the foul line. Now Maddie Nolan able to check in for Rouse. She'll take a seat. Michigan up by 26, a minute 03 left in the third. And Amy Dilk has had her fair bouts with turnovers issues, averaged 3.4 turnovers a game last year. Seems to have righted the ship a bit so far this year, although they've reared their head again in past games. 5 turnovers in the last game against Wright State. Nonetheless, she is Michigan's most experienced ball handler, a 3-year starter now. And certainly with Butler deploying the press, no matter how healthy the margin is, you want Dilk out there. 2 free throws are good for Butler. It's a 25-point game. Johnson bounce past Dilk. Here she is. Gets it away to Brown at half court. Streaks into the full court. Michigan has numbers. Takes it all the way to the rack on the right side. Layup blocked. Nas right there on the follow to clean up the mess.
And going back to Dilk, sometimes stats like that can be a little misleading because Amy Dilk does handle the ball for a large portion of the game. So I think maybe look at her assist-turnover ratio as well. She's obviously the leading assister on this team. But yeah, something that's definitely was a cause for concern last year with her turnover count, but hoping to improve this year for sure.
And I think it's no coincidence how easy Michigan was able to break the press there with Dilk out on the court to lead it. Meanwhile, Butler drains a 3 from the far side corner. Nice ball movement to find a wide open Naimir Dew. The other end, Hillman running the floor off a Nolan feed, flips it up and in on the finger roll. 2 possessions Dilk has been in on offense, 2 easy fast breaks, breaking the press.
Nice Hillman running the floor, and then Maddie Nolan rewarding her with the easy layup. 4 seconds remaining.
Michigan up 26. It's a Tuso. Drives left on Johnson. The runner at the horn off the heel. Nice defense as well. Dilk stepping in on the help. That'll end the third quarter. Michigan up 70-44. Faltered a little bit with some struggles breaking the Butler press, which did them wonders as they try to claw themselves back into the game, facing a daunting 26-point deficit. But yet again, Michigan clicking virtually on all cylinders as they look to push their record on the season to 5-0.
In a game like this, you probably only see a few more minutes of AK, Leah, Amy, and Nas. But, coaches like KBA who are, as experienced as her, they understand that they have to use all 40 minutes to coach their team and take advantage of these games in these late minutes. So hopefully, you see Danielle Roush, Maddie Nolan, Michelle Cedar get in this game later in this fourth quarter and really focus on taking care of the basketball and beating the press. So we'll see a lot of those players later in this one, and maybe even some other players we haven't seen yet today in the fourth quarter. So this should be a fun fourth quarter for the Wolverines.
Yeah, you have to figure with this game already well out of hand, and it has been for quite some while, that Michigan will look to empty the bench, especially with an interesting tidbit in the Wolverines' schedule. Their next scheduled game is 10 days from now, December 19th at Illinois, which would mark the start of conference play. So this very well could be the last tune-up of sorts for Michigan, a test which they are acing so far today, but it might be that last real game opportunity to get some of those bench players into the game. Not sure if Michigan is planning on scheduling any more games.
I know there was a discussion for 2 more non-conference games, one of them being Butler and then the other one a possibility. So you're very right that this could be the last game, but it could also not be the last game before Big Ten starts at Illinois.
Right. The schedule, of course, in the year of COVID is ever so fluid. I think this game was a late edition as well.
Yeah, it was. They didn't add it until, I think, Saturday. But, you obviously cover the men's team for the newspaper here, and, the men's schedule wasn't out until about 2 weeks beforehand. Obviously a lot of questions there, but, John Rothstein, probably one of my favorite Twitter followers. Obviously a lot of programs were having problems not playing, but still, I think around 90% of programs are still going during a global pandemic. So kind of hats off to all these conferences and the teams for following protocols. And we get to watch basketball Wednesday at 1 p.m.
Of course, and then the men's game against Toledo later will also be on WCBN. Jack will be back on the call, doing a doubleheader here with testing his stamina at a timeout. Butler misfires on a 3. Rebound trickles harmlessly out of bounds, heading over to Michigan. Wolverines running with that same lineup, so the starter's still out there for now. It's Dilk, Johnson, Leah Brown, Hillman, and then the lone bench player, Maddie Nolan. Butler with their press. Dilk handling, left side feed goes to Johnson. Sent back across for Dilk. She gets it to Brown right at the lip of the half-court line. Michigan's got to get it across quick, and Brown bailed out in the backcourt. A foul by Atuso.
Looks like Leah Brown kind of got swiped in the face there. Looks like she's okay.
Exercising that right shoulder a little bit, sort of shaking it off. Maybe a bit of a stinger on the arm. 9:36 left here in the fourth. Dilk pass along the left side goes to Nolan. Working with Alexander, whips it near side corner for Dilk, brings it out to the wing. Draws a switch with Alexander, over her shoulder cross court for Nolan, extra feet in the far side corner for Johnson. Johnson back to Nolan, arcs it underneath for Hillman, a bit too tall, out of Naz's reach, I think deflects off her right fingertips. So it's heading back to Butler. 12 turnovers now for Michigan.
But that's a turnover I don't mind, being aggressive. It wasn't a mental error, and anytime you're throwing the ball on the Naz, that seems to be a fair play, but just a little too high there for Naz, the pass there from Maddie Nolan.
Butler on the other end throws it away. Leah Brown into the forecourt to get it, racing all alone down the right side, and then nearly blowed the layup, but gets the friendly bounce. And in our updating our mask saga, a mask is now lying on the court. Someone seems to have had enough of playing with it and has now thrown it to the side as Alexander draws a foul, barging her way down the right alley.
You got me curious now.
I don't know what's going on.
What's going on?
I don't know when or how we can find an answer here.
I'm not sure, maybe, because I know, when you're on the bench, it seems the protocol is that you have to have the mask on. Maybe they just forget to take it off before they head to the substitution table.
That's a good theory. I could subscribe to that. Butler, meanwhile, off the inbounds. Alexander trying to force it to a Tuso, and Dilk a little overzealous defending the handoff there. She's called for her foul. That's number 3 on Amy Dilk. Foul trouble, of course, not a concern in a game where the margin is 28, testing my math here, with 8:47 left in the game. And now a sloppy play on behalf of Butler, a careless 5-second violation, and it's going right back to Michigan. That was Adika on the inbounds pass.
I could see Maddie Nolan hitting a 3 on this possession.
Here is Maddie Nolan on the wing. Cross court for Leah Brown. Catches in the near side corner. Get it back to Maddie Nolan. Cross court for Dilk in the far side corner. She'll take a deep 2. It's good. Or was it a 3? It was a 3. So Jack was right on half his prophecy.
I was two off. It's number 1, Amy Dilk, not number 3, Maddie Nolan. Both from Indiana, though.
So maybe you meant Dilk. Down the left alley goes Atuso, carves her way back out up top. Adika lines up a 3, rolls off, and there's a rebound from Maddie Nolan.
Strong rebound there from the junior Maddie Nolan. Now in transition, and Naz Hillman just too easy. You love to see that AK to Naz Hillman connection.
Michigan continuing to push the tempo and doing so with relative ease. The lead is all the way up to 33. That's a timeout for Butler. Kurt Godlewski wants to talk it over. We're creeping in on the territory that Butler suffered in their last defeat, a 47-point drubbing to Creighton. Their first game was a 21-point loss to Providence. This one right now smack in the middle at 33.
Butler obviously in the Big East Conference. I'm not too well versed in women's basketball. I do know there is some blue bloods in the Big Ten. It seems to be Maryland every year, and then obviously you got your South Carolinas, your UConns, and then your Tennessee, historically good program. I know Stanford's really good. Now, is UConn in the Big East? Or is that, are they in the, I know they were in the American for a bit.
That is a good question, and one I don't have the answer to.
Big East women's basketball.
With regards to the Big Ten, though, similar to the men's side, it's definitely a stiff league on the women's side. Ohio State, Northwestern, Indiana, Maryland, and Michigan all ranked. So Michigan will have its work cut out for them with conference play looming just around the corner. Do we have an update on UConn?
Yeah. UConn is not in the Big East. What conference are they playing for women's basketball? Let's see. UConn. What's the coach over there name again? It's Gino
Ariema.
Yeah.
They might be in the Big East.
Oh, they are in the Big East, yeah. So Butler obviously gets to see them every single year.
They moved from the American to the Big East this past year. I know with the men's side they moved back to the Big East, so maybe they moved back from the women's side as well.
But I always get confused on that. Actually, my roommate Max Brill, shout out to Max Brill if you're listening, he was saying that the American Athletic Conference is actually the predecessor to the American Athletic Conference is actually the Big East. But the current Big East Conference actually bought the rights to the naming rights of the Big East. They bought it from the American Athletic Conference because the American Athletic Conference is technically the Big East, but just renamed itself. So obviously a lot going on there. I always get confused with that, and I know the Big East schools really don't have football. It's a little easier with the Big Ten where you have 14. Well, actually, the Big Ten's even confusing because you have 14 teams. It's only 10 teams. 14 teams, even though it's only called 10.
Big Ten, yes.
But all 14 teams obviously have football and basketball. But yeah, just confusing there with the Big East. But Butler does compete in that conference, and it's obviously a fun conference for men's and women's basketball.
So after we answered our own question there with some research and thanks to our friend Google, Butler comes out of the timeout and draws a foul. That was a two-so on the dribble drive, pushing the envelope, and I think the foul is going to be called on Leah Brown. That's number 4 for her. Naz Hillman heads to the bench here. At least stuck back into this one. Pass on the right block goes through the hands of Adika. On the floor is Leah Brown. She couldn't get to it. Adika steps back, fires a 3. It rolls off the rim. Weak side rebound taken on the left block by Cedar. Mosey's right to left into the forecourt. Kick right side for Amy Dilk. Butler sets it at their zone. Dilk flips left wing for Leah Brown. Skip pass cross court right wing Nolan. She passed up a 3. Dilk in the short corner. Scrum erupts on the floor. 2 black shirts in along with 3 white shirts after Dilk couldn't catch the pass cleanly, and the jump ball will stay this way. Possession stays this way with Michigan.
Now, I think I'd be doing a major disservice to the viewers or to the listeners today if I didn't mention Charlie Brigham doing a good job on the near side baseline, scrubbing the floor every time the ball goes to the other end. Charlie Brigham, a fellow member of the Sport Radio, who's actually just was named co-executive director-elect with Adam Bressler.
And we hope Charlie's listening right now, even though he's on job. Michigan the other way. Leah Brown on the right side has her defender all twisted around. Push pass left side. Cedar tries to find her first half touch. Can't hit a 3. Rebound falls into the arms of Adika. Left to right. Here comes a Tusu. Pull up from the foul line. Rims out. And nice job of missed the trees with the rebound, Maddie Nolan. Cedar up the left side. Pushing right side pass. Hits Brown in stride. Drives down the right alley. Lays it up and in. And a foul. Caught Ellen Ross backpedaling. Leah Brown so graceful on the open floor. Michigan up by 35.
Yeah, Leah Brown, probably one of the most athletic players on this team. She has really good size and athleticism, and she gets to the basket so quick, and there's no question why she averages so many points a game. She's so good with her right and left hand in penetration. 18
points so far today. Now 19 with the free throw, surpasses her season average of 17.8. She takes a seat as Daniel Roush checks in. If that's it for Leah Brown in this 36-point blowout, it was a tremendous matinee performance. Butler the other way, meanwhile. A Tuso handling down the middle for the Bulldogs. Veers off to the left, guarded by Roush. Bounce pass for Adika, looks it back down Dilk. No look, flip pass in the near side corner for DeMont. Catches and gives to Ross. 2 bigs out there for Butler. Ross to Sexton, further along the wing for Adika. Step back jumper from the left side, got separation from Dilk, and the jumper rattles in and out. Dilk the rebound, pushing right to left. Veers off and flips for Nolan. Passes up a chance at a 3.
Where's my Maddie Nolan 3?
She has passed up 2 chances since Jack wants her 3. She's got it on the near side corner now. Back out for Dilk on the wing. Trying to arc it inside, stuck, can't find it. Roush takes the baseline, puts it up and in. Nice aggressive dribble drive coming in from the far side corner for Roush.
Yeah, nice drive there by Roush. Not known to be a penetrator, but gets to the basket there.
Sexton, a bit of a dangerous pass underneath, looking for Dumont. Swarmed by 2 defenders, stuck, and then Nolan on the backside help. Fouled by Nolan. Checking it back into the game, Cameron Williams. Played a few minutes early on. And Nolan will take a seat, all but dashing Jack's dreams of a Nolan 3-pointer. Substitutions for Butler as well. Amelia Dawn enters.
I always wondered this, during recruiting a girl like Cameron Williams, a very highly touted recruit. She's going into a program with a Naz Hillman, and she probably knows she's not going to get the most amount of minutes her freshman and sophomore year with Naz being a junior. But the flip side of that is you also get to play under her and learn from her. So I'm sure she's learning a ton from Naz Hillman and aspires to be a player like she is.
Yeah, Williams commits the foul there, as Dumont backed her down. And Williams, the 6'3" freshman from Chicago, again, not getting the most minutes so far, just 6 minutes per game as a freshman as the free throw clanks off back iron. But as you said, the lure of the appeal of playing under Naz Hillman, certainly a reason why she chose Michigan. That free throw no good. Butler fighting for it. Nice job by Adika amidst 3 defenders. And she comes away with the rebound and then is fouled.
Because, Cameron Williams in practice is most likely, not on the starting 5 or, the starting group of, 7 or 8 players. She's on the scout team for the most part. She has to guard Naz almost every day, and that's not an easy assignment. Teams, obviously do not like doing it, and I bet she doesn't like either, but it definitely helps her improve every single day in practice.
Megan Fizo has checked into the game for Michigan, a freshman guard from Seattle. So Kim Barnes-Arico starting the process of emptying the bench. No starters out there for the Wolverines as the free throw is good, bringing the deficit down to 37, 82-45. Michigan's lineup out there right now is Danielle Roush, Michelle Seedor, Megan Fizo, as we just mentioned, along with Cameron Williams and Elise Stuck. We'll see how they go about breaking this Butler press, an inexperienced unit to say the least. Stuck up top, Roush, nearly a backcourt violation. Give for Seedor along the left wing, launches it cross-court far side corner for Fizo. Back to Roush, bounce pass up top, Williams. Seedor takes the baseline from the left corner, tries a floater from the block, gets a friendly roll.
Great shot fake there, fooled the defender, crosses over the left hand, and then the touch there with the floater from Seedor.
84-45, Michigan approaching its season average of 86.5 points per game. Butler handling on the perimeter. It's Stoddard up top, guarded by Stuck for Michigan, and she's going to be whistled for steps, a travel.
In a game like this, obviously Michigan's going to come away with a win here and move to 5-0, but, this group on the floor right here, they have to set a goal for, like a defensive goal, maybe try to hold Butler to less than 50 points total. That's only 5 more points. And kind of not let off the gas pedal and use these minutes to the best of your ability.
Offensive foul whistled away from the ball underneath by Cameron Williams. She's racked up 3 fouls now, and not just 5 minutes of playing time, trying to get position underneath. So Butler the other way, Michigan up 84-45 with 5 minutes left in this one. All but sealed up, and Sexton throws it away down the right side into the arms of Stuck. Jump pass lofted for Seedor, tracks down it in the near side corner, takes it back out to the top of the key. Stoddard sticks with her. Push pass along the right side goes to Fizo. Pass up top, Stuck. Bounce pass underneath Williams. There's the freshman. Flips it in, but a travel first. Or foul first.
I think it's an and one. Kind of a late call by the official, and it is. And the freshman connection there looks like it was, not sure, was that not sure who made the pass in there to Cameron Williams.
I'm not sure.
I think it was Stuck from the top. So yeah, freshman connection there, as Michigan does have 3 freshmen on the floor.
It seems like they might have waved the basket off. Couldn't really hear what the ref was saying. I think Williams was maybe held before she was able to finish. But nonetheless, a strong freshman-to-freshman connection, and good to see some of the younger players getting a run of bits here with 4:44 left in this one, and Michigan in control, up by 39, 84-45. It's been a dominant performance, end-to-end for Michigan. They've led by as many as 39, which they lead right now. Shooting 54% from the field. They've canned 8 3-pointers, 20 assists. They've got a healthy 17 rebound advantage on the boards as well.
Megan Fizo, one of the freshmen in for the Wolverines, like you said, from Seattle, Washington, was named MVP of the WIAA. I'm guessing that stands for Washington. Not something intercollegiate. It wouldn't be intercollegiate because it's a high school organization.
Some sort of league in Washington.
3A state tournament. She led them to the state tournament after leading Garfield to a state championship, and she averaged 24.7 points per game. You really do forget, and you're at this level, even if you're a freshman bench player like Fizo is, who doesn't get too many minutes. These girls just dominated their respective high school basketball leagues. It's all, I always take enjoyment of looking up the bios and seeing where they fell in the Gatorade state player rankings and stuff like that. such impressive high school players. But once you get to this level, you're playing with those players, and they have to fight for minutes.
And I think the best one I found was Michelle Seedor, who as a senior averaged 26.6 points per game. She eclipsed 3,000 points in her high school history. But the 26.6 points per game she averaged was the lowest mark in her 4 years of high school. She did worse as a senior than she had in all 3 other years.
That is crazy. From New Jersey, which is where head coach KBA is from as well.
And on cue, Seedor drains a 3. She's up to 14 points now, 4-7 from deep. Certainly been a spark from beyond the arc, helping the Wolverines stretch their offense inside out. Sexton spins off a screen and then throws it away. Was looking for Dumont on the roll. She did not reciprocate the look. And so it's going back to Michigan. The lead at 42.
See if Michigan can get to triple digits in this one. 13 points away.
The triple digit watch certainly on. 4:18 to go. This would help. Left wing 3, way strong by Fizo. Rebound fought for. Diving on the floor is Seedor, and that gets the bench up and celebrating. You love to see that hustle even with the 42-point advantage. Jump ball nonetheless, sends it back over to Butler.
Because plays like that make a difference down the stretch in March, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And setting the tone early, like you said, even in a 42-point game, got the bench excited there. You love to see that.
Roush checks out. Solom checks in. 4 freshmen on the court, in addition with Seedor, the sophomore. Foul called on Ross's drive down the right alley. She flipped it in off glass. Won't fall, but draws the contact. And so with 3:59 left in the fourth, she'll head to the free throw line for 2. It's been a quiet day for Ross, as has been the case for most Butler players, with the Bulldogs stifled to 45 points, although that's right about on their season average. They've scored 52 points and then 41 points in their 2 respective games.
Ellen Ross, the junior from Indiana. She probably ran into Amy Dilk, Maddie Nolan, and Leah Brown, all part of that junior class out of Indiana at some point in their high school basketball careers.
And Ross can't convert on the free throw. 3:50 to play. Solomon jump pass the left side for Fizo. Gets a Solomon screen, moves toward the top of the key, kick back left side, and a whistle and a foul. A legal screen on Solomon? Perhaps. Interesting fact on Solomon is her father Ken was a football player here at Michigan, a backup quarterback, 1988 through 1991. Didn't play all too much, but a member of the program nonetheless. And now Ken's daughter Whitney here on the basketball team as a freshman. Alexander launches a step back from the left side. That goes off the heel, rattles around, and scooped off the hardwood by Solomon. Into the arms of Seedor that streaks down the middle. The left side goes for Fizo. Back up top, Solomon fakes a pass, push pass right side. Seedor open again, high arcing 3, rims out. Solomon mistimed her jump, and the rebound batted around and taken by Dumont. Tuso the other way. Butler still rolling with their starters. Tuso, a bounce pass along the baseline for Ross. Muscles it out, won't go, but is fouled. That's foul number 4 by Cameron Williams, who is having a whole lot of difficulty underneath.
Trying to figure out when the last field goal was for the Butler Bulldogs.
Just scroll back far, I guess.
I think points 45 and 46 were both free throws by the Bulldogs. I think the last one was a 3-pointer to bump up to 44, and I think that's come over. That was over 5 minutes ago, actually. So Butler not getting anything to go from the field, only from the free throw line.
And can't even get that free throw to go. The first one clanks off the iron. The Bulldogs shooting a woeful 28% from the field, 15 of 54. They're 23% from three-point range. They've misfired 20 times. That free throw won't go. Rebound fought for underneath, and Solomon wins the battle with Alexander, and then director pivot foot and travel. Dumont will take a seat here as Neymar Dew checks in for Butler.
Michigan with 4 freshmen on the court, along with sophomore Michelle Seedor. I think I misclassified Maddie Nolan as a junior a minute ago. She's a sophomore along with Seedor.
Nice pass inside for Adika. Tuso on the baseline drive finds her cutting teammate for 2. There's the field goal. You're out snapped.
Yep. Nice play there by the Bulldogs, and Cameron Williams on the other end.
Nice.
Look how quickly Michigan got down the floor and able to get a quick post entry. Beautiful offense there.
Nice left-handed hook. Williams looking confident. Shades of Nas, perhaps, emulating her teammate. Butler on the other end. Alexander wrapping around a screen is Adika, knifing her way inside, gets the layup to go and a foul. Solomon tried to draw the charge, instead goes crashing to the ground and gets whistled for the personal. That's her third.
Yeah, pretty nice play there by Adika. She avoided the charge and kind of wrapped around Solomon to complete the and one.
16 points now for Adika, and credit Butler, outmanned and overmatched, but not giving up, not caving in, despite being down 89-51 with 2:20 to play. The watch for triple digits has slowed down a bit with this unit of backups in, but still time. Fizo given the far side corner. Stuck, pass underneath on the left block. Sidor catches the high pass. Picks up her dribble. A bounce pass for Solomon at the elbow. Closed in on nicely. Jump pass right side. Goes to Stuck. Stuck puts it on deck. Gets to the elbow. Loses the handle. Pass underneath for Williams. Got free along the back line and lays it in with the offhand. Michigan up by 40. A minute 47 to go.
Yeah, Stuck double team there right about the top of the key and had the presence of mind to find a cutting Cameron Williams, who's having a good showing here late in the fourth quarter.
Dow fakes a three, takes Solomon off the bounce instead, picks up her handle at the foul line, pass left side Alexander over the top of Stuck, gets the moon ball to go. 13 points now for Alexander, 4-15 shooting on the day. Michigan quickly the other way. Solomon catches up top, give right side pass for Fizo. Wraps around a screen, moves to her left. Launches in the near side corner for Sidor, takes the baseline, tries a little floater and gets it to drop.
You've seen that play before. The baseline drive after the shot fake and then the right-hand floater. And it looks like Butler's going to call a timeout to do a quick substitution. The teams will not meet. Both teams probably wanting to get this one over with here with a minute, 3 seconds remaining. Michigan hanging on to their, I can't do math right now, 39. Oh, wait. Yeah, 39-point lead.
Got it. Don't doubt yourself. 93-54. Tricky numbers. Not easy. 1 minute to play. Michigan, with whatever the lead is, it is a lot. It is commanding and decisive. They're going to walk away with a win here today and push their record to 5-0 on the young season. Butler will fall to 0-3 with this defeat. Underneath to do a bounce pass for Stoddard in traffic. Flips it up, blocked by Solomon. I think she got a piece of it and comes away with the rebound. 42 seconds and rolling as Sidor crosses half court down the middle. Veers off to the right, push pass along the side, goes to Stuck, pass up top Solomon. She's flustered and fouled by the smaller defender. I think that's Sexton in on there. .32 seconds to play. Michigan up 93-54. It'll be Solomon, the freshman, at the free throw line.
Looks like the officials thought that Michigan was in the bonus, but I guess not. They'll inbound from the far sideline. It will be Sidor.
They deked me.
Yeah.
And so it'll be the inbound instead. Fizo catches up top at the Block M logo. Pass along the right side goes for Sidor, and then a whistle and a foul underneath. I think that's going to go on Cameron Williams again, who had trouble with the clear out. That's her fifth foul.
Really?
Her fourth foul.
Fourth foul.
Fifth foul. They just updated it. But that's a second offensive foul. Also, she's been whistled for. So the freshman certainly has a long way to go. Highly talented, though, as we've said. Ranked 30th in her class, a five-star recruit. 25.5 seconds to play in fourth quarter. Winding down here to the outcome that has been inevitable for a long time now. It will be a Michigan victory over Butler here on Wednesday afternoon. Dew catches at the top of the key, guarded closely by Solomon, moves left, takes it down the alley, splits the defense, can't hit the layup. Everything but the finish, and Solomon clears. 8 seconds to go. Sidor into the forecourt. She can hold and wind things out for Michigan. And that'll do it. The final buzzer sounds. It's a 93-54 wire-to-wire commanding victory for the Michigan Wolverines. The 19th ranked Michigan Wolverines defeating the unranked Butler Bulldogs from the Big East, moving to 5-0 on the season. The next game that Michigan has currently scheduled will be December 19th at Illinois. unsure if the Wolverines plan on adding more, but Jack, nonetheless, a decisive win for Michigan today.
Yeah, ever since they were up 12-0 early on, they never let off the gas pedal. And, obviously a great offensive showing from Leah Brown and Naz Hillman, which has kind of been the story this season. But I'm more impressed with the really good work on the defensive end, getting out to three-point shooters and holding this Butler team to only 54 points. Michigan will have 10 days off until the Big Ten starts against Illinois. They'll go to Champaign on December 19th, but there is a possibility of another game between that, so we'll see what happens. But if they don't play another game, they got 10 days to rest before the Big Ten starts. So a nice win here for the Wolverines, and they moved to 5-0.
Yep, 4 players in double figures for Michigan in the 93-point performance. Naz Hillman leading the way, as she usually does, with 25. Well, that'll wrap up our coverage today from Chrysler Center. For Jack Molino, I'm Jared Greenspan. Thanks for listening. Tune in tonight for the men's game. Jack will be back on the call. Thank you for listening again, and as always, go blue.